Live breaking news, Nez Nation, my fellow Americans. Jack the Ripper Smith is finally hasta la pasta. See you, wouldn't want to be ya. It's all over, Jack. Toodaloo, bye-bye, nice try. Special counsel Jack Smith has just asked the appellate court to halt his appeal. He asked federal appellate court on Wednesday to halt his appeal on President-elect Donald Trump's classified documents case, citing the results of the 2024 election. My God, this win has such a resounding impact on every facet. My fellow Americans, I'm telling you the truth. We are headed for times of prosperity, the likes we've never seen before, even better than 2016 to 2020. This is the golden era. Prepare. Jack Smith says, quote, as a result of the election held on November 5th, 2024, one of the defendants in this case, Donald J. Trump, is expected to be certified as president-elect on January 6th, 2025, and inaugurated on January 20th, 2025, Smith wrote to the Atlanta-based 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Quote, the government respectfully requests that the court hold this appeal in abeyance and stay the deadline for the government's reply, which is currently due on November 15th, 2024, until December 2nd, 2024, to afford the government time to assess this unprecedented circumstance and determine the appropriate course going forward consistent with the Department of Justice policy. Jack Smith, the federal prosecutor, added. This classified documents case was dismissed, remember, in July by federal Judge Eileen Cannon from Florida, and then that's when Jack Smith sought an appeal to her ruling. The special counsel noted that if granted the abeyance, his team would inform the appeals court of its future plans by December 2nd. Smith said that he consulted with Trump's legal team, and they, quote, do not object to this request. Of course not, because this is a dead case, Jack, just like you're a dead prosecutor, and your lawfare and your weaponization of the DOJ is absolutely over. Matt Gaetz just got announced the attorney general. Trump just nominated him. And with all intents and purposes, if things go well with the Senate, he will get confirmed. So, Jack, I would be running for the hills if I were you. You know, you might even think about moving. I don't think Canada wants you. I definitely know Mexico doesn't want you. I don't know. I hear Ukraine's beautiful this time of year. Why don't you go check that out, Jack? The filing comes after U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan froze Smith's 2020 election interference case against Trump last week following the prosecutor's request for a pause in court filing deadlines. Multiple reports indicate that the Justice Department intends to wind down all pending litigation. Let me repeat that, Nez Nation, my fellow Americans. The Justice Department intends to wind down all pending litigation against the 45th, soon to be the 47th President of the United States in light of his election victory last week. Yes. The New York Times even reported that Smith is scrambling to finalize what is left of his work so he can retire before Trump takes office in January and assuredly fires him, which is definitely going to happen. I can't wait. Can you imagine? Where is he? Where could he be? I want to find out. Where's Jack? Jack, there you are. Jack, step in my office. I need to talk to you. Quite frankly, probably this is going to be the last job you ever hold because, Jack, I hate to break it to you, but you're fired. Oh, it's going to be so beautiful. The president-elect has promised to axe Smith within, quote, 2 seconds of being sworn back into the White House on January 20th. By the way, we're going to go live on that beautiful, glorious day where President Trump takes oath to finish the job of draining the swamp. If you haven't seen the video where I talk about his magnificent historical appointments, particularly Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, the Department of Government Efficiency with Vivek Ramaswamy, and Elon the Man Musk, who literally paid $44 billion so we could have free speech. There is no doubt in my mind, if he hadn't bought Twitter before this election and turned it into X, which is literally the last bastion of free speech in the online ecosystem, I truly believe this would have been a entirely different outcome. And can you imagine hearing this for the next 4 years? Excuse me, we're going to unburden what we're trying to burden so we can be what we've always wanted to be. Can you imagine, my fellow Americans? Oh my God, that would have been absolutely insane. Smith, who's 55, has already informed members of his team they can start planning their departures over the next few weeks. Cannon threw out Smith's case, alleging that Trump improperly hoarded sensitive White House documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate after his presidency, after she concluded that Smith's appointment as special counsel was unconstitutional. What a big shock. Were you surprised? I know I wasn't. Smith's appeal contends that Cannon's decision was, quote, at odds with widespread and longstanding appointment practices in the Department of Justice and across the government. The Justice Department has a longstanding policy of not going after sitting presidents, Mr. Smith. Jack the Ripper, it's all over for you. You know, I used to be able to throw rocks as a wee laddie in Scotland, and I tell you what, I could crush you, Jack Smith, like a worm. My fellow Americans, we're headed towards a golden era of prosperity, and I'm just so excited. Stay tuned. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments down below. The president has every right to get retribution. Trump has every right imaginable to go after these guys, but he's not going to. If you missed the video where we talked about Trump and we showcased him meeting with Biden in the Oval Office, that, my fellow Americans, is joy. That was joy returned back to the White House, not the joy that you see between Jill Ski Bidens and Kamala, where the tension was so thick you could literally cut it with a spoon. But the respect, and again, does Trump say things that sometimes irk me? Does Trump say things that where I sometimes just want to go, please don't say that, just shut the F up? Of course, all the time. He's a man. I call it foot and mouth syndrome. Every man, every warm-blooded, real man, that is, not one that needs tampons in a girl's bathroom, but a real man always puts their foot in their mouth. It is natural as breathing oxygen for men. And so, yeah, there are things that I wish, like, hey, just chill out. Don't say that. But he's real. He's authentic. And I know with every fiber of my being that he has an absolute heart of gold, and he has the great intentions. And he displayed that today when he met with Biden. And it was just so gracious. He was so nice after being called Hitler, after his entire following, me included and you included, being called garbage, after constantly, ceaselessly, relentlessly by the DNC-backed propagandist media calling him a threat to democracy, calling us Nazis, a hate rally, that historic Madison Square Garden rally, which we were all there live. And he still acted presidential. He still acted humble. He still was very warm and gracious and inviting to President Biden. And my hat's off to him for inviting him. I know that wasn't reciprocated back in 2020. And by the way, I was the first person back in 2020 who was disgusted by the camera footage of January 6th. You fast forward 4 years, I did a lot of research. I did my due diligence, qualitative, quantitative research. My wife's a brilliant researcher. Everything that's come out about that, there's a lot of holes. And you just couple that with what the propagandist media has done over the last God knows how long, but particularly in this election cycle, what they've done, propping up the biggest fraud of all time, Kamala. When only just a couple months ago they couldn't stand her, they detested her. Just shows you that not everything that these guys share with us, not everything these guys report, matter of fact, 99% of it has zero journalistic integrity. So my thoughts on January 6th have completely flipped 180 to when that actually happened back in 2020, because I love our institutions. I love our Constitution. And so, of course, it appalled me at the time. But this is called critical thinking. You look at somebody like Joe Rogan, who endorsed Trump. He is a living embodiment of critical thinking in action. This guy voted for Bernie Sanders back in 2016. He endorsed Trump 2 days before the election. That's called coming to your senses. That's called looking at things from a different point of view. That's called critical thinking personified. And it's made all the difference. And channels like this, please smash that likes button. Share this with everybody. Channels like this are the differential. We are making a difference. You are making a difference. And I'm going to keep fighting because they're never going to give up. Evil is always going to be present, and they are downright evil, and they're never going to stop. And your boy Nez is never going to stop either. And with your help, we will be invincible, and they will never infiltrate our fellow American citizens. Have you seen the mass hysteria from some of these radical, extreme leftists? Even this actress just came out who, this Disney actress. I can't remember what her name is. I'm going to try and find it really quickly. But yeah, she just came out and she just said this awful thing just recently. And I couldn't believe it. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous what she said. Let me know if you can see this, but she actually said this. She said, she posted this on her Instagram. She has millions of followers. She said, I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in, leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. Like, what does that even mean? Leaning us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want. That's not true. Leading us towards a world that is fearful. Why? I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I am heartbroken for my friends who awoke fear this morning, and I'm here with you to cry, to yell, to hug, to wax poetic. I mean, this is a full mental collapse on how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. I echo Ethel Kane's statement more than anything. May Trump supporters, here's the really evil part. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. Wow. Wow. That is unbelievable. That's what we're up against. That is a direct consequence and byproduct of the absolute corrupt propagandist media. This is what we're up against. That is an evil force that has turned probably, she seems intelligent. She seems talented. I mean, she's one of the star actresses in Disney. I'm just kind of presuming here or assuming she's been completely clouded. Her judgment, her ability to see things clearly, completely clouded. That is a direct, Trump is not taking away any rights. He is not. It's like, they're nuts. Like, they think that he's going to go around ripping out uteruses and attacking citizens with nuclear armament. I mean, it's insane what the propagandist media has done to our fellow citizens, my fellow Americans. And so I need your help. I need you to tap the thumbs up, not for me, not for vanity, because it helps us get this video pushed out to more people. The more people who are educated in our beautiful, glorious republic, the better decisions they make. And the better decisions they make works out for you, for me, for everyone, our grandkids, the future of our country, especially at the upcoming polls and ballot boxes that are going to be crucial in the upcoming next 5 to 10, 20 years. And so I really, really hope you will do that. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. Make sure you tap them and check them out, especially if you haven't seen them yet. Tap my face right there because you can subscribe. It's absolutely free if you're brand new. By the way, let me know in the comments if you happen to be brand new. Sign up for our free newsletter. That's also in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.